Oh, it might be soon if I keep playing like this. Make the major. Make the major. Very important. For me, it's the SV jump spam penalty time command. Right now, we're jumping at 64 tick. This is a serious problem. I can't KZ. I can't jump fast on certain objects. I want 128 tick. So they need to change the value to whatever it was for, whatever the equivalent was for CSGO. I don't have the number off the top of my head. Yeah, you basically force every time. And like, yeah, well, I have an M4 with a smoke flash. Cool, no molly. Can never afford a molly. Oh, I don't have head armor. Oh, I just got jumping Mac 10. Oh, that's cool because I didn't buy head armor. I want the nades instead. It's just like life of the anchor. It's like, cool, hold halls, bro. Just hold halls. I can't. I don't have any nades. Buy auto shotty. Maybe make the kit like $300 as well. Treat it like a nade because I think the kit's like way too expensive. People don't really buy the kit. You'd rather like try and win the round. And if you end up trying to retake, you're just gonna save anyway because you'd rather just have the gun for the next round. But it's like if you don't have a kit and you're in some like 3v3 and there's no kit at all because no one could afford it because the money sucks, then it's like, oh, okay, all right, nice try, guys. And then a review. We should probably save here. Yeah, I know we're down like 0-5 already or whatever, but we should probably save. It's just like, just can't even get in the game. It's just lame. I drink my coffee any point it tastes like White Monster. That's how I drink my coffee. I remember a long time ago, it was like 2020 or 2021, where we had like Winners League. It was like these 10k prize pool like online tournaments. I think they were pretty cool. I just think EU just has a lot more players that play Counter-Strike. I just think CS is a lot more popular in EU compared to NA. Like the amount of people that are on Faceit in EU, the ratio between the amount of accounts that Faceit has in EU compared to NA is actually absurd. I think it's like 9-1 or something crazy like that. So there's just not that as many people in NA playing the game. So I think it's a deeper issue than like lack of leagues. Is more just like lack of good players and talent being able to come out of the scene. Like it's really hard if you don't have as many people playing the game. So obviously you're not going to find as many good players for these leagues. So it's just hard. I don't really have the answer. We need like a cold national anthem. Cool music, kid. That would go hard. That would go hard. Imagine like the MVP sound or the 10. What would the 10-second warning sound be? It's got to be some voice clip or a death slam. Another question about me being bald. I mean, I'm getting there, so I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. My pre-match ritual is just get some caffeine in me before the game. That's kind of like if you don't have any caffeine before the game, it's like I'm probably going to be a little sluggish. I've tried playing games without caffeine before just to see if it would make decision making any better, slow the game down a little bit rather than being super hyper. But nah, I think you need some caffeine. Just how it is, at least for me. I think there really isn't nowadays. I feel like because people just take things way too like to heart. Like I feel like if you would like talk like the way people did back then it's kind of like you're not going to get on another team if you ever get cut, right? Like you're just going to be known as a guy who's like talking to everybody. No one wants to play with you. I feel like back then times were just different. I think it's also because a lot of people just grew up with CS, like CSGO, like the early days. Like these were the pros of the early days, and now us coming in later into the scene, I think it's just a little bit different because like people didn't grow up with CSGO. Like we grew up with them. They didn't grow up with us, obviously, so it's a little different. Yeah, the travel is the hardest part, and it's not even close, especially being an NA team. Like it's not even close. I'm never home, like ever. I'm at home for like maybe 18% of the year, and because we're always at a boot camp, and every time we do travel to a boot camp, we're jet lagged for the first couple of days. So I'm like struggling to just sit up in my chair playing the game because I'm just tired. Like I'm in a time zone 9 hours behind. I'm 9 hours behind of Europe time, so it's just hard. It's like really hard, and that's obviously that cuts into practice days. So we might be as efficient with our practice. So it's just, yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest parts. I think the hardest part of being an NA team. Train goated. I can't even tell the difference. There was more than one. Yeah, I think the hardest part for me was, well, the first step was getting from rank G to rank S. I played like 300 games in 6 weeks or something like that. It was just stupid. Like it was a dumb amount of games that I played. But then after that, it's just getting made fun of by everyone because you're the new guy, right? Like, oh, I got Floppy on my team in rank S. We just lost. Like it's insta lose, right? And then the next person gets added, then they get made fun of. So it's just like, oh no, it's like the resilience of being able to just take the heat and all the talk people say on the stream and stuff like that. From an individual perspective, it's like you want to be the best player in your role. I mean, we all know what a Grim Peak is. Like everyone knows what that is. But yeah, Floppy Peak, it's like I'm NA lurker, man. I'm NA Rops. It's gotta be. Honestly, I don't even know, because I feel like if you're gonna get invited to these events, right? It's like based off prize pool or something. Like especially with 2025, how that major is gonna happen. RMRs might not even happen, like Richard Lewis was saying, and it's based off of like how much you are in the Valve ranking, if that's ever even gonna get updated. Who knows, right? Like even before the RMR we just played ads, like it's just if the Valve ranking remains the same, then it's dumb, because they're not going to be like updating it as often as something like HLTV or something. So I honestly don't even know. I think it's a dice roll. It's going to be very interesting if Valve end up actually caring about their own ranking and how that allows smaller teams to be able to participate in like these events for like majors and stuff. Like I don't know. It's an interesting question. It's not something I've ever thought of, because as soon as you start thinking of a plan B, then it takes energy out of your plan A. And this is our plan A. Full focus, baby. We know what we want. we got the logo. It's goated. Yeah, I like a combination of refrag and deathmatch, just because I don't want to keep like doing the same thing over and over and it gets stale. So I just like to switch up the variety between like refrag, crossfire, and xfire, pre-fire, and then just regular deathmatch. We just haven't been able to see him that often because we're always so busy. Like both of us are busy all the time. We're in Europe. He's doing business. Boss Man's doing business, and we're in Europe grinding. So it's hard for us to actually ever see him. Well, out of game, I don't know. Squat 495 for 12. I don't know. All I ever think about is the game, so it's kind of hard. But I mean, in the game, we definitely want to qualify for Shanghai. That's another goal, and then win Shanghai. The 2 goals. But for more recent tournament, we want to have a good run at Pro League. After our performance of the majors, it was Sag, so we want to do good at Pro League. Well, it's like we said before, it's just Sag. We didn't make the stage. Like there are a couple of rounds, especially against Vitality, that were in our hands, and just either, I mean, I griefed one round. It's gonna be stuck in my head for a long time, 6-2. But yeah, I mean, I think the mental is better now rather than just now losing. Obviously, it's time heals all wounds, but it's like, yeah, it sucks. It's a really feeling. We definitely wanted to play on stage for Copenhagen, that's for sure. No. Never, dude. I was losing my mind playing that game. Yeah, no, that was bad. The only other game I play as of right now is Path of Exile. I think that's the only game that could actually give me some sort of like dopamine and serotonin compared to Counter-Strike, because I'm just killing a bunch of mobs in a game, so it's just pretty fun. Hell yeah, I love this jersey. It makes me look jacked, because it's like a lot smaller than the other one. I learned to appreciate Counter-Strike more. It's like the article I was given, and when I first came back with Extra Soul, I was like, CS is way more fun, so I should be more grateful to play this game, because I'm actually having way more fun at it. So gratitude. So, yeah, man. Everyone's manifesting the bold buff. Well, you guys were flying to London, I think, but I think we were flying from Dallas to, I forget, maybe it was Frankfurt. I think we flew to Frankfurt together. Yeah, I saw the Cole shirt or Cole jersey, whatever it was. I was like, yo, that's our bros. No, I'm sorry, bro. I need to keep whatever's left. Every question's bald. I don't know. Maybe if all the NA teams cancel Prague for the day, then maybe we'll turn the stream on. I got a lot of swag behind me because my mom just decorates my room every time I'm traveling, so it's always different and rearranged every time I come home. I think there's a lot of factors that go into that. It's a good question, but I think it really depends on the individual and their ability to have a high work capacity and deal with things that happen negatively to them. So like you have a bad game and then another bad game, it's up to you to bounce back. Like no one's gonna do it for you. So it's all mental. It's really just a mental game, and it's up to you. I mean, they did fix the clipping, so yeah, I could try it now. Instead of getting stuck on surf ramps. That's a banger. That was a banger tweet. Dude, that's from like 2017. This guy knows. I think playing the grand final at Sydney, that stage was sick. Because the Australian crowd, that they weren't really as biased. They were loud for us playing and winning rounds, and they're loud for the other team. So having the whole arena be loud the whole time was just like a surreal feeling. It was really nice. Sydney goated. For me, it's chicken and rice. I can't have only one thing. It's got to be two. Chicken and rice every day. That'd be fun. Some protein and carbs. Yeah. Jason, we're getting 12, man. I don't know. We're getting a lot of prac here at NA. We got a scrim right after this, actually. Dude, Jeff with the bald filter. No way, man. I'm saving this. Bald maxing. Oh my god. God. Well, I think it's just like any other like quote unquote era where people just like learn from the absolute best team for the time, and then people just whenever they play them in a match, they just hard counter them. So it's really hard. It's what I learned like being at the very top, especially during that time, was like being countered super hard because everyone's watching you, every team's watching you and seeing what you do individually. So it's more like in the flow of like, oh, you know exactly what he's gonna do, so you're gonna do this type thing even before like you even game plan. You just know exactly what the player does. Like it's really hard to deal with that, especially back then. But in terms of like what other teams are doing now, I think a lot of people are basically I wouldn't say copy the best team in the world, like the best two teams in the world. There's always like the top two that are always doing really well. It's like everyone's trying to emulate the best, so you can see like what kind of weaknesses they have in that regard. Just like what are they doing that we can exploit, basically from playing all these other teams and just seeing what they do and comparing it to what the team we're facing up against as well. Like everyone's kind of not doing the same thing but doing the same thing at the same time. It's like their own little flavor to it. Oh yeah, you got a melatonin max. As soon as you land at whatever time it is, I like to take a little nap. If we land at like 11 in the morning, and obviously we're not going to be doing anything on the travel day, so if I have time, I would take a nap for sure. And then the most amount of the highest dose of melatonin I would take is 1 milligram of time release melatonin, so it helps you stay asleep on the night that you land. You basically need melatonin, otherwise you're just going to wake up like 5 times throughout the night, and it's really hard. So just take a nap if you land early, and take melatonin when you go to bed at night. I think a lot of people are watching Spirit because Donk. I think they're playing pretty good, but I also think FaZe. People have been watching FaZe for a long time. We've been playing them in Sydney and Blast. Like we keep playing FaZe, and in the major before the stage, we're playing FaZe over and over. So we're always watching FaZe. It is my Rolex. I definitely went a little overboard. Not really, but it was after we made the first major. It was like, damn, this is sentimental. Let's get something for this. So I gotta watch. It's just some VTI. That's about it. The U.S. total stock market. So my money grows, and that simple as that. AFK Money Simulator. My favorite show is the CS2 Demo Viewer. That thing's insane. Kappa. I watch Valorant sometimes, but I only click to stream for like 30 seconds and then I just leave. Tuscan. I mean, I feel like that map's just too big. I remember being in CEVO Intermediate and playing that in a match, and I remember it just feels like the map is like way too wide. It reminds me of like of Overpass, but for the T's. It's kind of interesting. Like there's like the doorway from T spawn or like outside A into A side where you walk underground the whole time. Like you're literally walking for like 40 seconds just to get to the door. It's just like I don't know. I feel like that map is just, it definitely needs something different to it for sure. I like basketball. It's a lot like Counter-Strike, a little 5v5. Anyone could do any role type thing. Anyone can clutch out a round. It could happen. I don't know. We've seen, I think, well, Rec was playing some Valorant before he came back to CS. That's who comes to mind for me. But yeah, Tim too. But it's like, yeah, I mean, Tim was on T1 for like, let me see. I want to see how long he was on T1 for. He was on T1 for, oh, it's pretty long. It was like 11 months. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, bro. Look at me. I got carried in Valorant. Now I'm back playing CS. I think COVID made everything terrible. I mean, I was living alone for the first time ever in my life in a foreign country, playing online CS for like 6 months before he inevitably got dropped. It was kind of lame. We didn't really get anywhere close to where we wanted to be, and it felt like hard to actually really play for anything. Everything's just online. There's no major. It's just like, it was just really lame, to be honest. But I wouldn't like blame the whole C9 Colossus project. I'd blame COVID. Johnny tells us that's like a whole general thing. But I mean, just identify when we want to do it. I mean, we have enough practice together and time in the game to know that we need to slow things down sometimes. So especially if teams are just like doing obvious stuff like just charging at us, then we know how to play against that. But that's just like obvious stuff for us. I think Johnny's IGLing, he's really good at, I always troll him about this, but being stoic about everything, because it's really important for your IGL to like be in a like decent mood and not being like so up and down in terms of the mental. I think he's really good at being consistent with his calling and his overall mood. It helps a lot, so he can have a basis to fall back on. I think that's a really important thing that IGL should bring to the table. I think Johnny brings to the table as well. It's really good. I always like being the underdog, because it's like if you're playing against these era teams, they don't want to like lose their streak, right? Or they don't want to lose to like quote unquote noob team, NA noob team, especially back then. But like so I never really felt pressured against any of the top teams, because they don't want to lose to us. It's like the one article you said, like nobody wants to be the first team to lose to us. But, I mean, we were playing terrible. Like no one wants to lose to the team that's playing like absolute trash, especially especially if you're the top team. So an upset like that, like no one wants to get upset like that. It's like terrible for the mental. It's really bad. We're winning I am Dallas. We are winning I am Dallas. We have to. It's the storyline. We're winning this. If we win a major, I will go bald 100%. But we have to win the major 100%. If we win a major, I'm shaving my head. You're here first. Viewing. The lighting, you can't see the jawline in this lighting. The window's to my left. It looks like we're done. We're done with the questions. Thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate it. Prayer hands emoji. Prayer hands emoji. GG in the chat.